Hi, I'm DK Will. This is DK Will Talk About It. I'm going to do a quick video here about AMP. I know that I've talked about AMP a few times to those who subscribe to me. I'll also do another video here real soon about the Iraqi dinar. I know an overwhelming majority of my audience likes the Iraqi dinar videos. And I might even come up with some type of conspiracy type talk about the XRP debacle that's going on. All you XRP Army folks like myself, hang in there. I'm going to do this on the fly, folks. So you might hear the dog, you might hear the parrot, but hopefully what you'll really hear is DK Will. That's me. And I'm going to talk a little bit about, I had done a video in the past, and it was called, it had AMP with a question mark, and then Amazon and Amazing. And it was that Amazon was going to consider using AMP crypto as a legal payment in its website in 2022, on its website in 2022. And the possibilities of that occurring. Well, I'm going to touch on that a little bit. And so let's get this bad baby going here.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right.
Recently, it was today, really, I believe, AMP had a Grayscale Zooms. Grayscale had a Zoom meeting, and it covered AMP. And as a matter of fact, on their Twitter, AMP retweeted Grayscale's tweet where Grayscale said, wow, that's a tongue twister. Since joining our product family in January, AMP's weight in Grayscale DeFi Fund has grown. I covered that in one of my videos about Grayscale adding AMP and increasing its weight. I think it was at about 7%. Now that's a big move. And of course, they know things that we don't know. Now keep that in mind with the Amazon talk that I started out with. But they said components and weights reference the CoinDesk DeFi index and are subject to change. And then they talk about registering for the webinar. And that webinar was today, as you can see here, April 20th, with CEO Tyler Spalding from Flexa for a deep dive and a QA session on Flexa, AMP, and the digital payments industry. Now, I didn't make that Zoom meeting or whatever it's called, some webinar. But I did look into, some of the highlights of it, and some of the highlights of it were given on Reddit here. And one of the things that I noticed too was, let me find it here. Right here. Big news next week. Big news next week. Tyler said a big announcement for next week. Okay, so there was a lot covered, but that's really what I want to talk about on this video. Big news for next week. Now, my mind's leaning towards Amazon. I don't know if it's going to be Amazon or not, but I do know that that's a big announcement for that to happen. And so we see that Grayscale decided to talk about AMP. That's interesting, for a company like that. To make that the subject of a post. Of course, we had the webinar as well, which was covered. And I'm gonna end this with a little tidbit too, that will give a whole lot of encouragement, I think, to those of us who are in the Empire. There's the XRP Army, and then there's the Empire. And there's others, I'm sure, Bitcoin maxis and everything else. But I read an article that I wanted to cover, and I had planned on doing the video, and then when I saw the Grayscale thing and the tidbit that I'm going to show at the end of this video, and that's bait to keep you watching it, to tie into the Amazon deal, was this article here, What is AMP Token and How is it Used in the Flexa Network? So this article by Sam Klemens was written about AMP and Flexa Network, and it says, even though it's the 12th biggest DeFi project measured by total value locked, AMP has been flying under the radar, and most people have never heard of it. And this may be about to change. Well, Grayscale mentioning is about to change. You think if Amazon mentions anything is about to change? Now, I don't know Amazon's going to say anything, but I'm suspicious. And it goes on, and it talks a lot about AMP and what it does, which I've done videos about that. I have a playlist about that. I suggest that you go take a look at it, especially if you're in AMP and you need a little confidence builder because the market's been kind of flat. But after it gets through the technicals of what it covers, um, one of which is this right here, 1% transaction fees. And that was also covered in the highlights from the thing of how that they want to keep the prices down on utilizing their network. I mean, it's an in-place network, folks. That's I think it's getting ready to stop being a dirty little secret, and that's where this comes in. And I might agree with that gentleman who said that it's been flying under the radar because I've always described it as a dirty little secret. Now, this article was written back in August of 2021, but that's not relevant. Some of the information that I learned when reading this article made me have even more faith in AMP. Now, we know about the XRP, like it says here, unlike Ripple, XRP is going through its debacle right now. But one thing I didn't know and I learned, AMP has regulatory approval already. That's awesome. It's registered in Delaware as a corporation, which is common, headquartered in New York. New York is the toughest state in the union in terms of financial regulations. And by working in New York, Flexa has deliberately set itself up to conform to a very strict regulatory regime. Now that was impressive right there alone. It says AMP is a New York State Department of Financial Services compliant token. It goes on to say that Flexa is licensed via the nationwide multi-state licensing system with an ID number. Keep in mind. And then it even goes, Flexa is registered as a money transmitter in those states there: Connecticut, Georgia, Iowa, Kansas, Maine, Maryland, Michigan, New Hampshire, Oregon, and Washington. And there are applications for other states still pending, which is probably happening, especially with Amazon wanting to get on board. It offers a staking yield if you do it. Obviously, those of us who do stake look for yields and returns for passive income. So that's another beauty. And even more so, merchants want to use it. High credit card transaction fees cut into a merchant's bottom line in a big way. Walmart, for example, pays about $5 billion a year. Can you imagine them getting Flexa Network and AMP? Most credit card companies charge 3% fee. You know, I just showed you 1% for AMP. And the fee can be higher. And so Flexa adoption looks like it's coming, folks, and it's coming soon. Currently, it has a plugin for Shopify. It's in beta testing. Now, this was in August of last year. It was in beta testing, with a full release expected later in 2021. I presume that that's already happened. And it goes on to say, as part of the, I can't find every little word that I read and remember exactly where it was, but AMP is going after the world, very much like XRP is going after the world. What else do I got? Well, in the world of crypto payments, I'll read this one. DK will talk about it, but I'm going to read this one. It says, by leveraging its decentralized network of AMP stakers, Flexa gives merchants a way to accept instant crypto payments. Flexa can be easily added to most existing point-of-sale terminals. No special hardware required. Now, I knew that all along, and that's one of the things that really excited me about AMP. But then there was recently a guy who was trying to use the Lightning Network and everything with Bitcoin, and it double charged them, and it was failed 2 for 1. It was on TV. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I'm sure anyone who's in the crypto world and watching the YouTube crypto videos has seen it. But here, as we go on that note, it says, while Bitcoin's Lightning Network and Ethereum's Arbitron and Polygon networks are great solutions to the problem of fast crypto payments, Flexa works right now, and it doesn't require any additional blockchain development. It's ready to go, y'all. So who do you think? Remember, Polygon-matic was one of the considerations in the AMP amazing Amazon video that I did. Please go watch it. Well, I sent some of my own AMP to another wallet. I got a Coinbase wallet, and I wanted to send some of my AMP to my Coinbase wallet so that I could go to the Flexa network and stake. I own a good number of AMP tokens. Well, I rounded it off at only 245 because I wanted to do a test flight first. And so I had 245 coins that I wanted to send on the Polygon network, folks, on the Polygon network. That's important to say. And when I did it, I was shocked because something didn't look right, and it turned out that for me to send 245 AMP coins as a test run to my new Coinbase wallet, I was charged 600 AMP tokens. I did not like that at all. So that being said, I don't think many people would like that. So in the video where I did about the Amazon that I keep referencing, Polygon-matic was one of those, and I mentioned that I own Polygon-matic. But if it's going to charge like that with those Ethereum fees, it's not going to go anywhere. And then this article goes on to say a rising tide lifts all boats, and the better that Flex and AMP do, the more people have a chance to buy that elusive cup of coffee with their Bitcoin or anything. And that's the good thing about AMP is it does very much like XRP. It transmits value. You know, it does exchanges of value. It doesn't have to be Bitcoin. It could be any cryptocurrency, and AMP's ready to fly out of their liquidity pool. So that's great. But I also said that I had a tidbit to finish this out with, and I'm going to show you what that is. So I took a trip to the Amazon website. And keep in mind, Grayscale has mentioned that the weight of AMP tokens in their portfolio has increased. I did the video about AMP Amazon Amazing, where AMP is being considered as a payment mechanism for Amazon. Let me say that. Amazon. Okay, say it one more time. Amazon, y'all. Okay? And then when I went to the site, prepare yourselves, I saw this. Amazon Fashion. AMP token crypto Ethereum blockchain decentralized finance tank top. Do you think for one moment that Amazon knows about AMP, is considering AMP? I mean, you have to be licensed to do that. That's evidence of a deal, folks. That's evidence of a deal to be able to sell AMP branded gear on Amazon. And it has nice little selections too. You can get hoodies even, shirts, t-shirts, but it's here. And I was looking at the prices, and I thought to myself, man, I would love for that to be a bit of a clue about what AMP's going to be worth, $18.99. But folks, is there any encouraging news out there for those in the empire? The possibility that, hey, maybe Amazon has made their selection, because 2022 is here, folks. And like we mentioned earlier, you know, from the highlights of that Grayscale Zoom webinar with AMP, which is pushing their product basically, there's going to be an announcement next week, folks, and I just can't wait to see what it is. So, if you've been watching DK Will, I know I do the dinar videos, XRP videos. I talk about a lot of things, so see, this is DK Will talk about it. But today I wanted to talk about AMP again. And I saw some encouraging news for those in the empire. I hope you didn't sell out. If you did, buy back in while it's cheap. This is not financial advice. It's just good advice. Okay, because I mean, I did. I bought some more, in case you're wondering. But this is very promising to me when it comes to an Amazon deal, folks. I hope you agree. Well, I guess I'm going to Let's see. I'm click on the hood here. I'm gonna flip the hood over my head. I gotta go somewhere anyway and finish this video out. Hey y'all, Amazon's making deals with AMP, whether they're using your token or not. But I'm gonna try one more thing before I go, okay? One of the other considerations for I don't know the answer to this, but it looks like we might get it with Shiba Inu. Okay, they do Shiba Inu as well, and then another one was Polygon Matic, Gone, M-A-T-I-C, shirt. They got it. Okay, so maybe I'm too excited. I'm doing this live and in front of you. Hey, you call it how you want. I was excited because Grayscale didn't say nothing about Shiba Inu, and Grayscale didn't say nothing about Polygon Matic, and Grayscale didn't say nothing about Hoku or whoever that other one was that I never heard of. So I thought I'd do this video real quick for the AMP people out there who watch my videos. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you like. I hope you subscribe. I'm DK Will. This is DK Will Talk About It, and I've talked about it. Have a wonderful day.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right.